Yo Pisces, what's up? How's it going, guys? Welcome to your reading for the Gemini full moon. So, disclaimer before we get started, I already did your reading. So, like, why the fuck am I doing another one? It got deleted. So, I'm going for round 2 here, guys. And I think this time I'm going to just go real intuitive. Like, I'm feeling that Pisces, like, flow right now. We're just going to get, like, you know, like, all Pisces out right now and just, like, chill, man. You know what I mean? So anyway, guys, so the Gemini full moon, Gemini, communication, connection, wit, perspective, right? And for you guys, it was falling in your house of family. So remember last time we talked about how like you need to like evaluate some friendships, some relationships in your life. I think this came out for you last time too, the Queen of Wands. Cool. So I'm actually gonna just like throw cards out, right? I don't know if I'm gonna do a spread. I'm just gonna go real intuitive. So great start, Pisces, right? I think this last time we did it, I didn't like this for you that much because it felt like a little. I think the word I used was lazy, which is kind of a douchey thing to say, but like kind of resting on the laurels, right? Like not really going ahead and like taking charge, right? So this is actually good. This to me is like Pisces situated in your power. Oh, it was about the sexy time. Yes, that's what I remember what it was. Like not really knowing how to like harness and like control this power you had. So Pisces, like right off the bat here, this is like we're starting off with this moon cycle towards like till the end of the month about with Pisces being real powerful. With Pisces like figuring out and finding how to sit in their power like as an independent, sovereign, fully realized person, right? And of course, that's like a lifetime journey, right? Like when you are coming into yourself, and like the queen, right? She's an older woman, so like it takes experience, it takes adulthood, right? But when I was saying experience just now, I kind of feel that for you guys, like there's been a lot of experience, there's been a lot of like shit that you've been through and like been dealing with, and like more importantly, I feel like growth, right? I feel like Pisces with this card has like been learning a lot of lessons and kind of been just like integrating those lessons too. Oh, hey, Nine of Swords, right? So like I think this is where you guys are coming from this place of like worry and anguish, and like I still get this impression that you're still here a little bit. Like you guys still kind of have like you know what this reminds me of? It's like when you're like having a real hard cry, like a real ugly cry, you know, and then like it's kind of at the end and like you're still blubbering a little bit, but like you know you still like don't want anybody to look at you because like your eyes are all puffy and shit. Like that's where you're at right now, Pisces. Is like it feels like there's been this real emotional like mental weight on your shoulder, and it almost feels like now it's like that cathartic moment at the end of the cry where it's like, oh, like I had all these feels and now they came out, and now I'm like kind of actually maybe able to like move forward, right? Like take a step forward in life, like embody this full power of the Queen of Wands. You know what I mean? So it's encouraging. It's encouraging to see that because we have Mercury retrograde right now, and we have a Saturn transit at the end of the month. All that is a bunch of mumbo jumbo to say like things are a little tough right now, right? Like Mercury retrograde kind of like confuses things, right? It makes us revisit our past. That's a big one that's been coming up. Like Mercury retrograde, like right at the end of the year, it's like hold the fuck up. We're gonna talk about this one more time, right? You all this shit that you've been dealing with, like especially for the past year, maybe even a little longer, like it's gonna come up again. It's coming up now. Like you're revisiting things when Mercury comes back into retrograde. And then with Saturn at the end of the month, like that's a whole nother story. But we're moving into better times, right? Like, but still difficult right now. Still difficult. Like till the end of the month, it's still gonna be a little rough. Good. Five of Cups. This came out reversed. I really like it. So normally when we look at this card, we're looking at like what I was just talking about, like kind of being stuck in this place of like how beautiful. Start off with being stuck in this place of like mental anguish, sorrow, like grief, right? And then the card that comes up next is the Five of Cups reversed. Normally a card about like being stuck in grief, being stuck in sorrow, dwelling on the past, but coming up reversed right after the Nine of Swords, it's sort of like telling us that you guys are exactly what I was saying, like moving out of this, right? With the Five of Swords, like, I mean, the Five of Cups reversed, it's like this person who was kind of stuck dwelling on things and like looking in the past and not really able to move on is starting to get unstuck, right? Like it's almost as if we always say with this card, like this person doesn't see the two cups that are standing there; they just see these three cards that cups that are spilled over. Like it's almost like this way you're starting to see these cups. Like Pisces is starting to say, like you know what, like fuck these people. Fuck that shit. These people who've been fucking me over, making me feel like this. Right? Who've been like putting me in this place where I'm just beating myself up and like trying to like figure out what I did wrong. Right? Like here's Pisces like saying like, you know what? Like y'all are knocked over, fuck you. What good are you to me anymore, right? Like I got 2 cups and I'm gonna take them and I'm gonna run with them. I like it. I really think it's good. Oh, okay. Cool. 10 of Wands, 3 of Cups. I think the last time the 3 of Cups came up, it wasn't quite positive. We were talking about like how these people were kind of like fucking with you, right? And I feel the exact opposite right now, Pisces. Like for the rest of this month, like I see fun times. I see like maybe that weeding out process that you guys went through, like with the last moon cycle. Like now these are like the real bitches. You know, the real the ride or dies. You know, like the people who you know like are there for you. And people who you know like anyone can hurt you, anyone can like break your trust at any given point, but like people who you can kind of feel like with the cups we're talking emotions, right? And the 3s are kind of like a manifestation or like that's why this card is about like celebration and fun and good times, because it's kind of like that emotional energy kind of like coming into like reality, into the world. And this sort of feels like Pisces is feeling a little safer, like emotionally like safer. And I feel like it's because of the people you have around you, right? Like, and that opens you up. Like, Pisces, you're a great fucking time, but like not if you're in your emotions. Like, none of the water signs are fun when you're in their emotions, right? But like this coming up here, but right after the 5 of Cups, like beautiful, right? Like moving on from this bullshit to like happiness again, like fun and joy and like friendship. Friendship is what I want to say, right? Like pay attention to like the people in your life in the next few weeks, like who you're going to spend New Year's Eve with, for instance. Like I think that's going to say a lot to you about like where you've come from, like where you're going, and like who you really want to like stick around, like who's feeding your energy in the right way. Because we also have the 10 of Wands, right? Normally like not the greatest card in terms of like, I don't know, you don't want that shit on your back, right? Like no one wants that. However, I feel like this is Pisces taking on like the right amount, like looking at these other cards, like because you have like this emotional freedom sandwiched with this like letting go of emotional grief. So to me, this is sort of like Pisces like taking on a healthy amount of responsibility, like responsibility for yourself, right? Like I think I don't remember if it was with you guys or not. We talked about taking responsibility for your own healing, taking responsibility for your own happiness. So there's definitely that here, but I also see like real world responsibilities. Like I could see this being like a new attitude to your career. This could be a new attitude to like how you take care of your home, even like even if it's just decorating it or cleaning it or like buying furniture. Even meaning like this is Pisces like coming into the real world and like taking all this, like getting a little bit out of this emotional bullshit and like taking on like the right amount of responsibility. That like when I said about growth before, about experience, about like how the Queen of Wands is kind of like she's the queen of these wands, right? She's bearing their weight like gracefully and with power and like elegance, right? So this is like healthy growth in the next few weeks, Pisces. Like I can see at least 1 or 2 things changing in like your material world, right? I want to say I really feel like domestic and like career wise, right? So little things here or there, you know, like I said about your home, if it's like a project you wanted to get, a little furniture you wanted to get, like some decorating, like fucking Christmas, like if you've never put up Christmas lights or something, like I could see that being like something this year maybe you want to do, maybe because you're gonna have like a great feast for all these like great friends who deserve your dope ass food and like to be like drinking with you on the holidays, right? So just like a little bit, right? Like it's heavy, but like it's almost like this person is working out. Like they're not like burdened by these weights, they're like lifting it to get buff, bro. You know what I mean? All right, like not what I was expecting to go. Like I'm gonna tell you the truth. Like the last reading I did was a little heavier. But I'm kind of glad it went this way because like I'm tired of like I don't want to be here with you guys anymore. You know, like I don't want to be here with you guys anymore. Like I want you to be here, and like here, right? Because you're like fucking shits and giggles fun. Right? So, but just keep in mind, you know, like we are dealing with certain things like Saturn moving into Capricorn. It means like you're gonna have to start paying attention to work, right? Like Capricorn is the sign of work, of like social status, of moving up the ladder, of like moving up the hierarchy, right? And Saturn is the teacher, it's the restrictor. So like this is the next 2.5, 3 years are gonna be when like your work really pays off. Like if you've done the work and if you continue to do it, like you're gonna see huge rewards in the next few months, in the next few years, right? The next 2 to 3 years. But right now it's kind of like an uneasy time, right? Where communications are complicated. Like messages might not get across right. Like it's kind of a cool time to like be low key, like to like chill a little bit, like to just relax, to like process stuff. Like for a lot of the signs, like they've been getting the High Priestess, almost every sign, like just going within and reflecting and like meditating, right? Because that's what I think this time is really asking us all for. Like, are you joking? Are you joking? High Priestess. Oh, it's magic. Like that's cool. Like when I said that, I was kind of like, watch this fucking bitch show up, and she flipped up out of my hands, the High Priestess. So exactly what I was saying, guys. Like this isn't like super solitary either. Like this doesn't have to mean like you being a hermit at home, like holding up, like not having a social life, or having friends. Like this could be like you just chilling with your friends at home, or like like 2 or 3 people going out for dinner and a drink. Like it's not about like being holed up or like an antisocial fucking crone spinster. That's what they call him, right? But it is about like taking the time. Like if this is like going for drinks with your friends, this is like those like therapeutic friend sessions. You know what I mean? This is like those things where you leave these interactions like feeling invigorated and like renewed and like rejuvenated and like like appreciating these people in your life. But like don't forget, like this is time to just relax, right? Like I know it's hard because it's holiday time and there's always something going on, parties and stuff, and like big things, shopping to do. But like it is important to focus on like taking time for yourself. Like I said, that's what I've been saying for every single sign that's been coming up, the High Priestess, every single one. So I mean, like I don't think I need to tell Pisces like to nurture themselves. Like I think you guys kind of can do that pretty easily. It's kind of natural to you, right? But like this is like not this is not here, right? This is not Five of Cups energy. This is like going into a dark place, but like not wallowing, by like using it productively. You know what I mean? I was just talking to a friend of mine, a Pisces, about sitting with sadness, about sitting with darkness, and like how that makes you grow, right? And like what a fucking coincidence, like not coincidence, because this shit is magic, right? Obviously. No, but like seriously, like this is sort of like what I was just saying, where you're like in the dark, you're reflecting, you're going deep, but you're not getting stuck there, right? It's about how this teaches you. Like this is a major arcana, the High Priestess. It's concerned with our greater growth, our spiritual journey through life, right? It's not like day-to-day bullshit like the Five of Cups is. This is like, I don't want to say transformational, but a little transformational, right? Like it pushes you like a step forward on your path through life. So you have to keep that in mind, guys. Like, and I don't think I need to say that again, because I think this is naturally the energy we're gravitating towards. Queen of Wands. So like good times ahead, right? Like definitely fun times, definitely times to like enjoy the holidays, enjoy like time with family, enjoy time with friends, and like to just chill, like soak up the spirit of the season. Like I always forget how much I love the holidays until they're here, because it just feels so good and warm, and like you just want to be with whoever's close to you, right? Like it's good to like enjoy that right now, right? Like we've been through a fucking year. Everybody, like we've all been through it, right? And now it's time to like give your heart a break, like let it rest a little bit, because you got Two of Cups, you got love coming, right? Like this is the card of unions, the card of like soulmate connections even, right? I feel like I said this to you guys last time, right? About how getting yourself in an emotionally good place was like where you need to focus yourself right now because something like this was coming. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm remembering incorrectly. Maybe I smoked too much weed in college and my short term memory is fucking shot. But I feel like this came up last time. So what I'm saying for you guys, like, I don't know why it came into my mind. Maybe we're talking twos. We're talking about like February. I just thought like you guys are gonna have like a sexy Valentine's Day date. I don't know why that came into my head, but like I feel like by that time, even if it's not, well, you see, the Two of Cups is usually like a pretty serious union, right? I was gonna say even if it's just like a fun date, like it's at least something that's intimate. It's at least something that's like emotionally fulfilling, right? Like you guys don't have to get married tomorrow. Like don't get married tomorrow to like enjoy yourself, to like enjoy like this emotional pleasure and physical pleasure too. Right? But I also want to say like Knight of Swords. This has been on your mind, I feel like. Right? With the High Priestess and the Two of Cups, I feel like your head has been on relationships. King of Swords. This came up in your other reading too, right? And this is where I talked about dads. This is where I talked about like harsh father figures in your life. So, Pisces. I think it's good for you to reflect right now. You know, I heard something recently. I can't remember where it was. That said something about like it doesn't matter what kind of relationship you had with your mother because basically in a lot of ways they affect you the same way, but like your father, the relationship you have with your father like really affects a lot of the relationships you have in life. Right? So this coming up right next to the Two of Cups, I feel like there's some implication here, right? I wanted to say this could be like the man coming into your life, but I don't, or woman, like just a person coming into your life. Like, I mean, I know that most of the people watching here are ladies, right? So this is probably like a man coming into your life. If not, like this could be. My point is that this is still like the paternal figure and the influence that they have on like your relationships, right? And how you like see relationships and how you see like yourself in relationships, right? Because we started out with the Queen. Different energies though. The King of Swords is a little ruthless. He's a little like over. He can be like overly intellectual in that way that makes someone really cold and makes them kind of rigid and like a little brutal, right? Like very little concern for like this stuff, right? Like this is all like warm, gooey, lovey-dovey stuff, right? We have like Venus and Cancer here, like love on top of love on top of love. Like on top of that, we have the King of Swords. So Pisces, like let's just do a little bit of like psychoanalysis on yourself during this time. I mean, just like I said, even meditation, reflection, like tarot cards, whatever it may be, just to like do a little reflection and see like where this is coming into your life now. You know, I was even told by therapists that like my relationship with my dad affected like how I am in relationships. I think it does for everybody a little bit, right? So it's important to like clear this up, right? Because like I said, like the Gemini full moon and Mercury retrograde is taking place in your house of family. So, especially with this air sign card, like it's important to reflect on the connection that you have with this person, right? And you know, Pisces, this is one of the few times I want to say like this doesn't represent like the energy you're embodying. Normally with the court cards, I'm kind of like, this could be a person, but this could also be like the energy you're taking on, a little bit of both. I don't feel that way. The only way I do feel that way is if interacting with this person sort of makes you take on a little bit of this energy, by which I mean dealing with someone who's this harsh and like intellectual and cold and rigid kind of brings those qualities out of you in a way where like the King of Swords is ready to cut things off. Right, that's why his sword is high above his head. Like he's just right. That's why he seems a little ruthless sometimes, because he'll just cut people off. He'll cut heads off. Right, like he's focused on his goal. Like he has his motivations, but like doesn't think. I mean, doesn't feel before he acts, right? So that could be this, right, Pisces? This could be you guys kind of having to treat someone this way. You know, someone who's like kind of standing in the way of this, someone who's like, who maybe you have some awareness of like how this is like impacting your ability to have this, right? So it might be time to like at least distance yourself from some people. You know, if it's not literally a father, like I still want to emphasize like the older male figure right now. Whoever that could be to you, if it's not parental, like think about that and take a look at that relationship. Right? This is the, I don't need to say anymore. All right, so just gonna do one or two more. Like, let's pull a couple outcome cards, look at the bottom of the deck, and then some oracle cards, right? Pisces. I like that this is going this way. Like, this is fun. I kind of knew I could do this with you guys. I still like. I don't know why I can't get over. I can't like. I keep looking at these cards. Like, I can't move on yet. Because this is so distinctly two energies, and two energies that just are not working well together. Like, whatever we talked about here with the Queen of Wands and your self-empowerment and like you feeling strong and sovereign, like this person, figure out, like, if it's an air sign, like that could be it, because swords is air. You know, so if that rings to mind, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, if that's someone in your life, then like it could be this person, right? Or like in general, the kings represent older male figures. So whoever has this air-like energy, that like kind of cold-like attitude, right? Some people say like these represent signs. Sometimes they can. If it resonates with you, sure. But it's really more about the energy that this person embodies. That ruthless, intellectual, like, attitude. Okay, I'm done now. At least with that. I wanted to like 2 or 3 outcome cards. Because I think like what everybody's going through is this last kind of hurrah of 2017. Like, it's getting in one last little like fuck you, like a little punch in the nuts before it leaves us for the year, right? Like, but like at the end again, like there's promise of like good times. Like 2018 is going to be a really good year for everybody. I think just the energies that are coming out are going to be like really beautiful. Hey, I'm not going to say anything else. Temperance, Judgment, Ace of Wands. This came out reversed. We'll look at it reversed. So Temperance, guys, like balance. This is what I sort of feel like when I said that Pisces has been like coming out of this place. I sort of feel like this is what this is. This is like, right? The fire and the water, right? Like represented in this card. It's the symbol of fire, Sagittarius. He's standing in water. It's kind of like the tempering effect that happens when you put like hot steel in water and it cools down and it gets hard and sharp and it becomes useful, right? Like, this is the balancing act, right? Like balancing the emotions with like this real world ambition, with this real, like, not even just ambition, like the Wands is fire, so it's like ambition, that's one way that it manifests, but I also feel like it's just like differently from your emotions, but it's like how you feel. It's like the energy you have, right? So it's sort of like it's a little more worldly, right, than the emotions. It's a little more like, you know, when someone's feeling themselves, you can just see like they're like, they got a little swagger in their step, like they are energized, they're like feeling good, and you can tell, right? You can tell by the way they dress, you can tell by the way they carry themselves, you can tell by like who the people they like date are. You can tell by like which friends they're going to keep close and which ones they won't, right? So like this emotional balancing act that you guys have been going through, I think like Temperance shows like it coming to a head, right? Because then we have Judgment right after it, right? Judgment is the call to a new life, a new way of being, like a whole new attitude, a whole new like perspective, a whole new like, right now I'm feeling the emphasis on like these coffins, right? These people are rising from the coffins, and what I want to emphasize for Pisces are these coffins. I think they're even in water. Talking about emotions in water, right? Like, this is like the debris of like all this shit, like, and you're climbing out of it, right? Like, this stuff is getting left behind. All this heaviness, like, this stuff that's made you feel like confined and made you feel like small and made you feel like questioning yourself at every twist and turn. Like, this is kind of Pisces energy, like becoming more expansive, you know, like becoming more fulfilled from the inside out, right? Like that Queen of Wands energy, like her wand is lit, like she's lit, right? Like, it's like one of those, it looks like a giant like pilot light to me, right? Because that's what like the energy of Pisces is getting into. Judgment. And then we have the Ace of Wands. So it came out reverse, right? So what I want to say is like this like embracing, like, here, perfect, this embracing of this Queen of Wands energy of like this power, like there's still work to get done, right? Like what I started out talking about, the Ten of Wands, like there's still stuff to do, Pisces. Like, it almost feels to me like this emotional stuff was just the first part of it, and like now that you're getting out of that, like there's this whole new chapter, there's this whole new existence, this whole new like life that maybe you can't even imagine right now, like waiting for you. But like it's not going to come easily. The Ace of Wands energy is there, but it's like reverse is kind of resistant, right? Like it's not just gonna like, it's heavy, right? So still keep in mind, like, this is why probably this resting and this fun and like looking towards the future and love and all that stuff is like useful for you right now, because like you're gonna have to like take hold of your power in a real way. Like, and I don't mean that in a like fluffy new agey way. Like when I say take hold of your power, I mean like the ways I was talking about before here with the Ten of Wands and responsibility and like worldly manifestations. Bottom of the deck, Six of Pentacles. So this is Pisces. Like, I feel like your money is good. Like, your finances right now and for the rest of the year, like, I feel like you've been, like, building this, like, structure where, like, you're secure, right? You have enough where, like, you feel, like, balanced, and you can even, like, give to other people if you wanted to, right? Like, that's not the emphasis of this card, is like charity, right? But to me, it's always the emphasis on, like, having enough that you can give, right? This is like underneath it all, like you guys are kind of solid, right? So if there's one thing I would, even though I'm talking about career stuff, like financially you're okay, you're gonna be okay, right? And like, look, the Emperor underneath it, beautiful. Like this energy of the Queen of Wands, but almost like in a bigger way. Like, this is the card of independence and power, of like boss ass energy, right? So like maybe some of you will be getting a promotion. Ha! Queen of Pentacles, right? Like, look at all these pentacles. We're talking about earth. We're talking about worldly power. So like, if we're talking work here, guys, like this definitely could be like moving on up the chain, right? Capricorn, what I said before, is a sign about work. It's about the social ladder. It's about like working your way up to the top. I think Pisces is doing it, but I feel like this emotional shit has been getting in your way, right? Right into that, we had the Prince of Cups. So part of it wants to say like this is like the shit that's been like undermining all this other good stuff, but also like, remember what we said before about like the emotional fulfillment? Like, this is your like Rico Suave Prince Charming coming into the picture, right? Like, this is what like I feel like the promise is saying, like there's love here. Like, the finances are good. Love is coming. Focus now on getting out of this emotional place and like really building up like more than just money, like material way you want your life to be, right? Like where you want to live, blah, 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 blah. You get it. All right, so 2 or 3 clarifiers here. Like, this table's a mess. I'm gonna show it to you just the way it is. It's cool. I hope you guys like understand. air messages. Eagle guides. Perfect. Egg birth. All right, so let's start with this. Messages, guide, air, and eagle. Like, what this says to me is, like, you can expect like what this King of Swords wasn't for you, right? Like, the person that wasn't, like, being the person you wanted them to be, like the guide or mentor, the, like, person who helps you through life, who's there to give you advice, like, this person's coming, right? And, like, with the message with air, like, we're talking about, like, talking. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of talks. It's gonna be a lot of good communication. So I don't know if this is just, like, a confidant you have in your life, or, like, it can be any person or figure, like, I want to say, like, therapist, parent, tarot reader, like, anyone who has, like, something like that gives you a little guidance and, like, direction. Like, this is you guys talking. This is you guys communicating. This is, like, you guys kind of, like, helping you out of this place by, like, talking about it. Remember what I said before about friends? This could just be, like, some friends of yours that are a little older, a little more experienced, right? That's all that could be. And then we have all I've been saying here, promise. With the egg, it's like things are coming, but it requires nurturing, it requires care, right? But it's like, if there's one thing I could say about this, Pisces, like, just rest assured that, like, after all this shit, like, good things are on the horizon. Like, emotionally fulfilling things are on the horizon. Mentally fulfilling things are on the horizon. Like what I said before about, like, the Ten of Wands, this could be just, like, I got the impression, like, vacations, or, like, just, like, those fun things that you can do, right? That, like, having security, like that Six of Pentacles security, like, allows you to do. Take vacation, like, go travel somewhere, whatever it may be, right? That's all coming. All right, so let's take a quick look at the cards. All right, y'all, so it's looking a little bit like a shit show here, a little messy, but, like, that's all right, right? Because, like I said, good things are coming. We got fun times. We got moving out of this, like, depressed ass shit here. We got new life ahead of you, right? A period of reflection and, like, getting deep within yourself, like, letting this bullshit go, right? Letting this asshole go. Getting rid of that energy, like, get out of here, because we got this coming, right? Like, this struggle for this is way better than, like, dealing with that, right? Like, this is where we've been. This is what you're taking on. Like, this is where you're headed, Pisces. Self-actualized, self-fulfilled, like, you're a grown woman, or grown man, whatever it may be. I just said woman because power, independence, financial security, right? So it's looking good. All right, Pisces, I hope that was good for you, because, like, I fucking loved it. Like, this was one of the most fun readings I've done this time around. Like, just spontaneous and, like, went deep, one place I didn't expect. It was cool, right? So, in description, Instagram, like, subscribe, follow me there. I have personal readings now. You can check those out in the link. And Pisces, like, I'm feeling really happy for you. Like, I feel like you guys have been doing the work. I feel like you've been through it, and you're coming out the other side like fucking champs. All right, so enjoy it, right? Like, enjoy the holidays, have a good time, turn the fuck up, whatever you want to do, whatever the version is for you, right? All right, y'all, it's been real. Talk to you later.